And he was like, what would I have gotten you? I don't know you anymore. And
moving on to The Invite, directed by Olivia Wilde. It follows Joe and Angela's marriage, which is on thin ice. And when they invite their enigmatic upstairs neighbors for a dinner party, the night spirals into unexpected places. Olivia, what are your thoughts on this movie?
Obsessed. I had heard nothing but incredible things coming out of Sundance about this movie. I
forgot this was. I hadn't heard anything about this movie.
I only remember that because Olivia Wilde was there with I Want Your Sex and with this movie,
right?
Back to back. But I just wasn't prepared for how much I was going to love it. This is like one of those rare films that completely wins over an audience, just like from the very first scene. The laughter in the theater was relentless. It was it was crazy how many people were laughing in every scene.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the last time I heard a crowd that was like consistently engaged.
Yeah.
And by the end, there was just like people were sad and crying, but also laughing. And it was just like such a remarkable balancing act. And we talked about this on the subway ride home, that I think it played the balance between the tones of being, is that a sentence?
Yeah.
Like the tonal shift between being super funny and then also being incredibly heartfelt. Like, it is so hard to toe that line. And I think Olivia Wilde and Rashida Jones and Will McCormack did it incredibly well. The MVP here is the script. Like, Rashida Jones and Will McCormack, the writers, I think this is like one of the best screenplays of the year.
Bring back real writers. They are incredible.
Literally. So good. Every piece of dialogue feels completely natural while somehow also setting up joke after joke after joke with like surgical precision.
Yeah.
Every conversation feels like a tennis match with each character like constantly one-upping each other. The comedy is just absolutely killer. But what impressed me even more was how effortlessly the movie pivoted into just like being so deeply vulnerable, but I never felt it like drag.
Yeah.
And I never felt bogged down by that. Yeah, like I said,
you're never like, whoa, like where did this come from?
Yes.
Because I feel like you felt it simmering throughout the whole movie. Like it was the comedy was there for sure, but it came from the uncomfortability that you also felt from like what's about to happen.
Yes.
And so you're waiting for this moment where it does end in a way that you're like, this is so sad, but you knew something up to that effect was waiting for you down the line.
Yeah, absolutely. And the tonal control, I think, is where Olivia Wilde really proved herself as a filmmaker. I think this is easily her best directed film. I love Booksmart.
Booksmart
is incredible, but I think as a director, this movie is so good. Like, she's so perfectly well crafted, this movie. I think Booksmart is I think she needs to lean in more on the comedy side. Like, she directed Booksmart and this so well, whereas Don't Worry Darling was a flop. But I think I
was gonna say, I look back to Don't Worry Darling, and I don't think it was bad necessarily. I thought it could have been better, but I just didn't think it was like that bad, or people were like, this is the worst thing ever.
I think maybe just now comparing it to this and to Booksmart,
it is not at all. No,
it's not at that level.
Yeah.
I think, to be honest, love Harry Styles. Harry Styles fan down. He is not made for that. Like, he was better in My Policeman.
I've always said this.
Yes, My Policeman's an incredible movie, but he's not great in this. And Florence Pugh is like acting everyone else under the table. Anyway, but I think this is her best directed film. Yeah. I think she takes what simply could have been like a really funny, what is that called? Like a bottle episode, or like that, but in a movie. I don't know. Where you like don't leave the situation.
A single location. Yeah.
And like turns it into something like so intimate, so emotionally rich, surprisingly cinematic, despite it literally taking place in one apartment the entire time. Like, every frame feels purposeful and the confined setting only really adds to this like growing tension between the four people, but it
Yeah.
never loses sight of the comedy, and she just knows exactly when to pull back and let the quiet moment land. And by the time the third act rolled around, I was just like so invested in these relationships. The cast couldn't be better. I think Seth Rogen delivers some of his best work of his career. But it's like in those quieter moments that I think he really surprised me. And I think he should lean more into like being a serious actor. Not that he's not, like he's a very successful person. But he's really great at like the non-stoner comedy as well. Olivia Wilde, I think, gives what might be her best performance of her career. Like she is
Mm,
amazing in this.
yeah.
So much honesty and vulnerability. Her face does so much acting. Her face is so expressive. It's crazy. Um, Penelope Cruz, effortlessly magnetic, and I think Edward Norton is just so good. And I just think the four of them have incredible chemistry that's impossible to fake. And I think every pairing works. Every conversation is magic, and it's like both hilarious and heartbreaking. Yeah, it's so good. Like it's so good. I cannot overstate how good it is.
Yeah.
What about you?
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree with every single thing you said. I find uncomfortable situations hilarious, so I always find myself giggling or chuckling when I'm in one. So this movie is like right up my alley. Like it's chaotic and uncomfortable and honest and downright hilarious. Like I truly had a ball with this movie. Like you said, it's a small cast, quite literally four actors, single
Mm-hmm.
location for the majority of the film. There's not much to play off besides each other, and there's like this built up frenetic energy that really has a strong payoff. Joe and Angela, so that's Seth and Olivia, their characters start off really passive aggressive with each other, and so from the get go you're like, and as an audience member you just feel like, okay, something is not being said here. It's like living under the surface under all of this, and it's going to come out one way or another. And so I just kind of was like holding and sitting with that. um and we talked about this a little bit, but like the ending to me, I think, was, it wasn't this explosive big thing. I mean, there was an argument between them, but it was also just like quietly devastating. And I found it to be just a beautiful way to end off on that movie. Um, but so you have these this couple who is, going through something clearly. But then you have Hawk and Pina, which is Ed and Penelope, and I feel like when they enter, they just like hold these like metaphorical mirrors up to them, and kind of
Yeah.
force Joe and Angela to confront themselves and their truth, their desires, their wants, their relationship, all of it. Like just like the tagline says, everything is on the table. Um, and there's this moment where Joe and Angela feel like they no longer have to impress Peanut and Hawk, and that's when the movie to me really just comes alive. Like the gloves are off, secrets are revealed. It's just like the greatest thing to witness these four actors bouncing off each other in such an engaging way that I was like, I never want this movie to end. Actually, like
Yeah.
it could have been easily like 3 hours, and I've been like, okay, and now we're here, and now we're doing this, and I think that also is a huge credit to the script. I was
Mm-hmm.
enthralled by every little thing that came out of people's mouths because while dialogue's all they had, it was expertly done. Like, there's a lot of movies that where it's like you don't need a lot of dialogue to express something. I think this movie was perfect in the way it was written, um, but also intentional with each thing that each character had to say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, I think Olivia Wilde, like you said, this is I I find it hard to say it's her best work because I really do love
Yeah.
Booksmart, but I think comparing it to her last movie, which was Don't Worry, Darling, for sure, like she bounced back from that
Yeah.
in a surprisingly smaller but sharper way, and it just like made for a really hilarious uh, domestic battleground of a situation. Gorgeous apartment. Okay, like
Mm.
I could not. I was like, I would do anything to live here. There was a moment where they shared that Joe, Seth Rogen's character, was embarrassed by living in the same apartment that he grew up in. Which I'm like, if my apartment looked like that,
I would tell everyone.
I would take pictures and post it. My apartment would have an Instagram feed just so you could
Yeah.
see what it looks like. It's that gorgeous, and is it in San Fran?
Yeah.
Right? And I feel like I don't know what the housing situation is like there, but that's a pretty good space. It's two apartments. They knocked down a wall to create an even bigger space, which I think is like so smart, but just gorgeous. And I honestly think like this is. I haven't watched the studio, so I don't know, but I really, really did like Seth Rogen in this. I think it's his best work, truly. He plays this like guy who like clearly wants to be anywhere else but the room that he's in. Um, but then again, like he's confronted with what he's actually dealing with uh, inside, and when that comes to the surface, it's interesting to see how he responds. And I think
Hmm.
honestly, what really makes this movie is just the characters and the each um, things they brought to the table as couples and as people. And I also loved how they all cared about different things. And the one I connected to the most was Pina, who was really like a feminist, and she is a
Hmm.
sexologist and a psychotherapist, so she does most of it. I think the heavy lifting towards the end in terms of getting Joe and Angela to connect with one another. But I loved every moment she stood up for women, and I was living for it, and especially the olive metaphor that she says. I love that moment.
Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, this was a hilarious movie. I cannot wait to rewatch it. Probably, definitely one of the best movies of the year so far. But I do want to say that, and this is aside from how I feel about the movie, I kind of do feel weird promoting this movie when it's attached to A24 because of
Hmm.
what A24 has done recently, signing a this partnership deal with like Google to get more AI powered technologies for filmmakers, which is such an odd thing to do as a film studio
Yeah.
who's started off
Like Reputation
celebrating.
is like
Yeah,
very much relating to indie filmmaking,
yeah.
like not small budget, but like weirder films that maybe weren't getting released to the public
Hmm.
as often. But it's just like such a weird, bad move that I'm like, why? Why are you doing this? Like, for who? Who's asking for this?
Exactly. Apparently, they're doing it for filmmakers, but I'm like, if you had
What
taken
filmmakers?
a vote and tallied some of these filmmakers, I'm sure that the resounding answer would have been hell no. We like no one wants AI to help them with any part of filmmaking, and if you do, then I don't think you really want to be a filmmaker. To be a filmmaker, you really it has to be a human story, point blank, period. And I think, but like selling out to AI for 75 million, like that cost the reputation of your company that you built over years. I just don't think it was worth it. But my argument to that argument is that this was brought out of Sundance when it was like completely financed on its own, packaged,
Hmm.
and done so without B24's help. They just bought it and are distributing it. So if that helps anyone's case as to why they should go see this movie, please do. Don't let A24 be the reason that you don't.
Hmm.
Uh, because it's just a fantastic movie. And the score is great. Like I was obsessed with
So
that.
good. It
Oh
has a
my
lot of like violin or like
yeah.
cello sounds, and I
That
think it.
makes you like tense. Like people when I
Yes,
first watched this trailer, I thought it was a thriller almost. So I'm like,
same.
what's about to happen? Because the music is so intentional with like getting your heart rate up, and it was up. Um,
And I
but
did guess. I did guess correctly what the movie was going to be about. I don't think
yeah,
it was like that crazy of a stretch, but I was proud of myself.
it's also a Spanish no, it's a English remake of a Spanish film called The People Upstairs,
Hmm.
which I did not know going into it, but I feel like now I want to watch it and not compare, but I just want to see what they changed and what
Hmm.
was kind of different about this whole thing. So,
Interesting. Like this is the second film. This I guess Begonia was last year, but like same thing with Begonia. Like that's a remake of a Korean film.
mhm.
Very
Yeah.
strange. People cannot be thinking of an idea. I
Listen, I
also
like what
wanted
they
to
did with
mention,
it though.
so true. And like
Yeah.
this movie's great.
Yeah.
Um I don't subscribe to Call Her Daddy or anything relating to Alex Cooper, but I did see a clip of Olivia Wilde
Boo.
on
Sorry. I'm not a
this.
fan anymore.
Um I did see Olivia Wilde on the podcast, like a clip of it. Talking about Jason Sudeikis and like their relationship.
Yeah.
And kind of like the fallout of their marriage and kind of when they knew it was over. And she said that it was on her birthday that they were like driving home from the birthday party that she had, and she was like, Jason, like, did you get me a present or like a gift? And he was like, what would I have gotten you? I don't know you anymore. And like
Oh.
and that was apparently like early March 2020. And so they then proceeded to have to quarantine together, pretend everything was kind of normal for their
Stop.
children, and then they like separated. I'm not sure when, maybe 2021, 2022. But yeah, she was just saying like, I knew our relationship was over because we did not know each other at all anymore, and we were just coexisting.
Okay.
And like I stopped, a relationship is over when you stop being curious about them, when you stop wanting to figure them out and like
That hurts my
learn
heart.
about them. And so that's when they knew their marriage was over, that like they didn't know each other anymore. I think they're still like get along decently well, I guess, obviously because they like co-parent their children. But yeah, I just like, obviously I don't subscribe to Call Her Daddy, but like I did think that was an interesting conversation that she had. And like hearing that, I was like, directing this movie, reading the script must have hit so much harder.
Oh yeah.
Because it's literally about like the breakdown of this marriage, because they like don't really know each other, or like they're not interested in each other anymore. So yeah, it was interesting. It's also interesting like looking back at the ending of the film. I don't want to spoil the movie, but the last scene is kind of left up to interpretation.
Yeah.
Which I think is interesting, and I think both me and Kadija have our
Same.
own ideas. So
Oh wait, no, different, right? We had differing opinions.
think we
let's
did
not
have
maybe
differing
not say
opinions.
it.
Yeah, I think we did have differing opinions based on
Yeah.
the conversation we had at the end of the movie. But yeah, there's kind of like a more optimistic outlook versus like maybe a more cynical outlook.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a really great, well made movie.
I agree.